How can I find the greatest common factor of two numbers? How to find the greatest common factor of two numbers. GCF, greatest common factor. Well, the first step is we've got to write these two numbers down. We're not going to find any kind of greatest common factor unless we've got something on our paper. So let's pick 42 and 8. I want to find the greatest common factor, GCF, of 42 and 8. The first thing I'm going to do is write 8 and put a little colon next to it. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I've listed the number 8, make that colon big for you guys. I've listed the number 8, and then I'm going to list all of its factors going this way. So I've got 8, and I'm going to list all of its factors, because we're trying to find the greatest common factor of these two numbers. So we're going to have to find the factors of both of the numbers, and then find out which one is the biggest, or which one is the largest, or which one is the greatest. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write 8, and I'm going to list all of 8's factors. Well, what is a factor? A factor is something that I can multiply together to get 8. So for 8, we always want to start, every number we want to start at 1. Because 1 times, well, that number will equal that number. So in this case, 1 times 8. 1 times 8 is going to equal 8. 1 times 8 is going to equal 8. So I can do my little rainbow here just to show that, and I'll put a times up there, right? Because 1 times 8 equals 8. How do we proceed? Well, we proceed systematically. We don't just, oh, what are the factors of 8? I have no idea. I think 4, you could use 4. No, you want to proceed systematically. So we've done 1. Let's put a comma right here. And let's say, well, what's the next number bigger than 1 that might be a factor of 8? Oh, well, it's 2. Look, 1, 2. Is 2 a factor of 8? Let's find out. 2. 2 times 4 is 8. So 2 is a factor of 8. 2 times, and then you put the 4 over here. 2 times 4. 1 times 8 is 8, and 2 times 4 is 8. We want to separate this list with some commas. Good. So we've got some factors of 8. Are there any more? How do we know when we're done? Well, let's try 3. Is 3 a factor of 8? I'm not sure. Well, 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is going to be equal to 6. And 3 times 3 is going to be equal to 9. Oh, wait. Well, if 3 times 2 is 6 and 3 times 3 is 9, there's no way 3 can be a factor of 8. Because 3 times nothing that we know about is 8. So actually, 3 can't be a factor of 8. Well, how about 4? 4 is already on our list. So if we're already up to things that are already on our list, then we are done. That's when we are done. So what we've done is we're trying to find the greatest common factor of 42 and 8, and we've listed the factors of 8. That's a good job, but we're nowhere near done with this problem. What else do we have to find? You guessed it. We have to find the factors of 42. So all of these are the factors of 8. Now we got to find the factors of 42. So I'm going to write 42 just the same way that I wrote 8, with its colon. And I'm going to say, well, what are my factors of 42? Remember, we start at 1. 1 times 42. 1 times 42 is going to be 42. And we're proceeding systematically, which means we're not just going to start guessing at factors. We're going to say, well, what's the next highest number from 1 that could be a factor of 42? 42 is even, just like 8, so 2 is definitely going to be a factor. 2 times what? Let's see, well, I'm going to just try it out here. 2 times 10 is equal to 20. That's not high enough. 2 times 20 is equal to 40. That's pretty good. I need 2 more, so 2 times 20 is equal to 40, and I need 2 more. I need 1 more 2. Let's try 21. 2 times 21 is equal to 42, which is just what we want. So 2, and I'm going to go under on this one. Doesn't matter if you go over or under. 2 times 21 is a factor. These are factors of 42. 1 times 42 is 42. 2 times 21 is 42. Well, let's see. We have to, again, proceed systematically. So we're going to try 3 again. We're going to try 3 again. I'm going to erase some of the scratch work. Do the same method for 3. We sort of kind of guess and check. So 3 times, I don't know, let's start with something. We want to get all the way up to 42, so I think, let's try 15, right? 3 times 15 lets me 15 plus 15 plus 15. 15 plus 15 is 30. 15 plus 15 is 30. 15 plus 15 plus 15 has got to be 45, because 30 plus 15 is 45. So we got 45. Well, that's too high, so I've got to go down here. Let's try 3 times 14. I'm not going to try to do that in my head. I'm going to go over to some vertical multiplication. So 3 times 14 is going to be equal to, well, 3 times 4 is 12. Write the 2 down, bring my 1 up. And 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. 14 times 3 is 42, just the number we're looking for. Just the number we're looking for. So we know from doing our multiplication, kind of guessing and checking, that 3 times 14 is 42. So 3, right, and I'm going to go under again, times 14. 3 times 14 is 42. 3 times 14 is 42. All right, so we're getting 3 and 14 are a lot closer than 1 and 42. So let's see if we can go any farther. 4. Well, let's see. I'm going to say, well, I can get to, you can use 4. Erase my scratch work again. Right, see how I'm going 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to check 4. Okay, well, 4 times 10, I know that's 40. And I have to go a little bit higher, so let me do 4 times 11. It's going to give me 44. Uh-oh, not going to work, right? Because 4 times 10 is 40. The next one higher, 4 times 11, is 44. Not going to work, right? Because there's no way I'm going to get 42. Got to cross this off, cross 4 off. 4 is bad. Okay? We got to skip to trying, you guessed it, 5. We got to skip to trying 5. So let's see. 5, well, 5 times 10 is 50. Now that's too high. How about 5 times 9? Well, that's 45. That's getting closer. How about 5 times 8? That's going to be 40. Nope. Not going to work. Not going to work because there's nothing in between 45 and 40. Oh, man. All right. This is a hard one. Let's try 6. Let's try 6. 6, well, 6 times 6, I know that's 36, so let's go a little bit higher just to make sure. 6 times 7 is what? 6 times 7 is 42. 6 times 7 is 42, so I got to put a 6 here, and I got to go all the way down I got it all the way over to 7. 6 times 7 is 42. So 6 and 7 are factors of 42. So in the past 10 minutes and 12 seconds, we have found the factors of 8. The factors of 8 are 1, 8, 2, and 4. And the factors of 42. The factors of 42 are 1, 42, 2, 21, 3, 14, 6, and 7. Now, how do we find the greatest common factor? Well, they have some factors in common. 8 has the factor of 1, so does 42, so they have those in common. But the greatest common factor is going to be the number that's a factor of both of these guys, 8 and 42. It's in both of these lists for 8 and 42, but it's the biggest one. It's the biggest factor. Well, 1 is common, but it's not that big. 2 is common, and let's see if we can get anything that's a little bit bigger. We've got 2 is common, and it's bigger than 1, so that's my guess right now. 3, well, 8 doesn't have 3. 6, well, 8 doesn't have 6. 7, 8 doesn't have 7. 14, 8 doesn't have 14. 21, 8 doesn't have 21. 42, 8 doesn't, nope, it's got to be 2. 2 is the biggest factor that's in both of these lists. So, the GCF of 8 and 14, sorry about that, and, sorry, not 14, 42, has got to be 2. Why? Because 2 is a factor of 8, and 2 is a factor of 42, and it's the greatest factor that they share.